But the Republican Party already has said, many of them, that taking those AR-15s off the market is a no starter. It's all about the guns, all right?
Can I just say this real quick as a gun owner? Yeah. There are people in this country that genuinely own guns and just do so for the same reason that we all sit up.
An AR-15?
No, let me tell you. Okay, let me give you a story. There's a man in Connecticut that watched his neighbor have a home invasion and watched their whole family get killed. He built his own AR-15 because Connecticut won't let you buy them, but you can abide by rules that allow you to build them. And then he has one in his house to protect his family because he never wants to see that happen again. He is a black man. It's odd. Most AR-15 owners are former military, 35 plus and married. So that's all I'm saying is that they're not these crazy people.
Here's the thing. Once black people get guns in this country, the gun laws will change. Trust me.
That's what happened with the Black Panther. Black people have been right, but black people have been buying guns. The numbers went up in 2020. The numbers went up during the pandemic.
Hello. This is Shahir Yashub Judah, and this is going to be episode 1 of the Truth Be Told Extra. We're going to be talking about the biased media. Started off with that video clip of Joy Behar. Once again, we are allowing the media to tell us the truth right before our face. Instead of us listening to what is being said, we allow them to push certain buttons for us to get upset. Joy was only telling you what is happening. That's what Joy was telling you. There was never a problem with guns until we as Negroes started buying guns. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I am more than sure that the numbers are staggering when it comes to the upsell of guns in America by blacks. Not only are blacks buying more guns, you are beginning to have more black conservatives as well, walking away from the Democratic Party. I don't have a whole lot of time into going into the history of the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, but just know this, that out of the Democratic Party came the Ku Klux Klan. It's the Democratic Party that has always put more shackles on the people, keep the people enslaved. They come to the people as a sheep. People are not able to see beyond the skies. So what I'm saying that in today's time, you have a new sect of Negro that is starting to arm themselves and walk away from the slave master. Me, myself, I'm neither Democratic or Republican. Me, myself, I'm neither left or right, liberal or conservative. My master is not of this world. My master told me to render unto Caesar that what belongs unto him, and render unto the Most High higher that what belongs to him, and that's where my allegiance is at. But as long as I'm in this kingdom, I've got to keep my eyes wide open, and I have got to understand how the wicked uses his pen to shape the lives of the individuals that is in this world. Now there is a problem in America, and the problem is that more Negroes are beginning to take arms. More Negroes are beginning to be conservative. That's the problem. I am of an age where I remember where white men and white boys, even at the high school that I went to, when they drove pickup trucks, They would have what is called gun racks. Most people today don't know what a gun rack is that's inside of a truck. They would have gun racks, and they would have their rifles in the gun racks at school, in the school parking lot. This was a common sighting around the city that you lived in, not in the country. I'm not from the country. I'm from a city here in Texas. You would see the white men drive with their rifles behind their heads and pickup trucks. I'm more than sure that it's still legal to do it, but you don't see anybody do it. Why? Because it's not socially accepted. I dare you. I'm of age when people understood that guns were a tool and they were not this evil that the media is making them out to be. So the comment that Joy made was not that when black people start taking guns, the laws are going to be changed. But the comment was, now that black people are beginning to take up arms, the laws are being changed. Let me see if I can get the numbers of the upsell of blacks that are buying guns. In America. Let me see if I can get some numbers here. This is from CNN. Gun sale rises among black people as they look for firearm training. This is from June 23rd. This is from an article a year ago. So a year ago, about 40% of gun buyers in 2020 purchased a firearm for the first time, according to the National Shooting Sport Foundation, an industry trade group that compares the FBI background check and data sale data. This is one of the reasons the FBI have a background check when it comes to buying guns, is so that they can see who and what group of people are buying guns. This is something that I'm going to drop something on you that a lot of people don't know. The NRA is all for black gun ownership. Bring the black people from the oppressive ways of the Democratic Party. But the media would make the NRA look as if they are the Ku Klux Klan. Look as if they are the racists. Look as if they are the white people in power that is oppressing. And that's not the point. The government has a problem with black people owning guns. Look at what they did with the Black Panthers. Black Panthers exercised their Second Amendment rights every time they opened the front door and walked outside. Nobody ever said nothing about Bubba walking down the street with his gun. Nobody ever said nothing about Clint riding down the street with his gun. But when Day Day and them started picking up guns, it was a problem. It was a problem. So much of a problem that they built a whole organization to tear them down that was called COINTELPRO, where they used a guy who had a criminal record and used his criminal record against him to infiltrate the Black Panther Party, so that they can bring them down one by one. And those that they did not kill, they got them addicted to drugs. Because black people are picking up arms, The laws are being changed. We're going to have an upcoming show on Truth Be Told Flex podcast, on the original one. We're going to talk about the AR-15 as the nigger of guns. Oh, they can get that AR-15 out of the hands of citizens. They don't want that gun in the hands of nobody. That's not just the black man. They don't want that gun in the hands of nobody. That gun is a line of defense. One of the reasons we have a Second Amendment is that gives us the power to protect ourselves against the government and tyranny. To protect ourselves against the government and tyranny. So if the government can persuade you to give up your AR-15, how are you going to protect yourself from a tyrannical government? I'm not going to take too much time here. But I just wanted to make mention of Joy Bear's statement that when black people start picking up guns, that's when the laws are going to be changed. No, because black people are picking up guns, this is why the laws are being changed. Moving to West Virginia. This was a story that was not covered by no major cable news outlet whatsoever. There's a reason why this story was not covered. The story was not covered because it goes against the narrative. This country treats bearing arms as if it is a privilege when it is not a privilege, it's a right. If you followed me for some time, you know that I've talked about the differences between rights and privileges. A right is something that this government or no one else has the right to infringe upon. Privilege is something that can be given or it can be taken. If I allow my children to drive my car, that is a privilege. And if they do something that they have no business doing, I can take that privilege away from them just as well as I given them that privilege to do it to begin with. One of the reasons we have the right in America to bear arms is to protect ourselves and others. So in West Virginia, there was a mysterious woman, and she is being held a hero in West Virginia for using a legally owned pistol to kill an armed man who he had an AR-15 style weapon. They had to throw that in there, right? At a graduation party a day after the Uvalde school shooting. She is an unidentified woman that shot and killed a guy by the name of Dennis Butler on Wednesday. This was not just last Wednesday. This happened last month, the last week of May. In Charleston, West Virginia. He showed up to a graduation party at Vista View Apartments complex. Butler, 37-year-old, convicted felon. We had an AR-style weapon. It's unclear what his motive was, or even if he knew anyone at the event. He started shooting, then the woman pulled her gun out, according to the police. The incident went largely unnoticed in the wave of stories about Uvalde in Texas, where a gunman slaughtered 19 kids and 2 teachers. Now, the issue of gun reform is being ferociously debated politically. Dennis Butler, 37-year-old criminal, has an AR-15 at a party. How no one got hit at this party but him from the lady who had the gun, beyond my understanding. I don't know if he was shooting up in the air, if he was blindfolded when he started pulling the trigger when he was shooting his gun. I don't know how no one else at this party got shot except for him. But the point of this story is this, is that because this lady, whoever she was, because she had a gun in her possession, a law-abiding citizen had a gun in her possession, and she was not afraid to meet the threat. She engaged the threat. Not only saved her lives, but the lives of many others that was at that party. Now, this could be a fabricated story. It really could. I'm not going to lie to you. And I say that for so many reasons because of all of the things that is going on. But one in particular, which is if he pulled the AR-15 and he started shooting, how did no one get hit? That I cannot comprehend. Now, the AR-15 is not the monster that the media make it out to be. The AR-15, hell of a gun. Not an assault rifle, but it's a hell of a gun. And that's what makes the gun so great, because the gun has the ability to protect you and others. It gives you a chance to walk away when the enemy is on you. But nonetheless, fabricated or not, this is a real scenario of if you as a law-abiding citizen have your gun in a time of a threat, you give yourself a chance to walk away from the threat. Now, when you are shooting and someone is shooting back at you, there is always a high probability that you may get hit and may lose your life. But that is why it is called a gun fight. Whenever two men knuckle it up, both men have a chance of knocking out the other. That's why it's called a fight. That's why it's called a fight. So here the government is and all they want to talk about is de-arming the people, and the people is riding with this, not understanding that if you are disarmed, now you are not able to fight. You are no longer able to fight. This is why we have the Second Amendment. Why has CNN not ran this story? Why has MSNBC not ran this story? Why has Fox not ran this story? Why has this not been talked about? Why is Dennis Butler's name not in the news? Same thing that happened in the church that was in Fort Worth. When that guy went up in that church and he started shooting, there was a member of the church that had a gun, and he was the one that neutralized the shooter. Why? Because he had his gun to protect himself and the others. This country treats Second Amendment rights as if they are privileges, and they choose who have the right to bear arms and who don't. They could have stopped what happened in Uvalde if they wanted to, but they did not want to. They didn't want to stop Uvalde. They pressed the trigger for it to happen. They could have stopped what happened in Buffalo if they wanted to. They did not want to stop what happened in Buffalo. They put it in progress. Keep our eyes wide open. Pay attention to what is happening. The Messiah even told us that if you don't have a sword, go and sell your cloak so that you can buy one. What government wants subjects to be able to protect themselves against the government? All praises to the Most High. Haya Ba'Hashem Yeshaya and the Warawakadash. I am Shir Yeshuv Judah. Episode 1 of Truth Be Told Extra. Bias Minute Media will not tell you about the lady who shot down the bad guy because she forced her Second Amendment rights.
That King tribe. Judah, Benj, Levi. We Southern Kingdom. Shout out to the North. All praises to Ahia. It's that T-Dog sound. It's that T-Dog sound. Kwame Yasha Allah to the nation. Yeah.
Let his hands be sufficient for him, please don't let him die. Wake his house up first, all his brethren they gon' buy. Land of his enemies, please let him survive. Judah is my, Judah is my, Judah is my, Judah is my tribe. My tribe, Judah is my tribe. My tribe, Judah is my tribe. My tribe, Judah is my, Judah is my, Judah is my, Judah is my, Judah is my tribe. In the land of my captivity, I'm waiting on our rise. Standing strong amongst my brethren, please open up your eyes. He making our hands to war, through him we will survive. Ezekiel, these bones have been revived. This is how it feels to be alive. For so long we've been deprived, now it feels like we've arrived. Wings in the wind, I'm gon' glide. Ice on the path, I'm gon' slide. Spawn Michael Jai, Lance Armstrong, I'm cycling by. The lion is my tribe, odds I will defy. Been primed for this since knee high. Upon Christ's return is when we ride. G.O.T. Every nation will bend the knee and know that he loves we. Upon the gates is the 12 tribes you'll see. Let his hands be sufficient for him, please don't let him die. Wake his house up first, all his brethren they gon' buy. Land of his enemies, please let him survive. Judah is my, Judah is my, Judah is my, Judah is my tribe. My tribe, Judah is my tribe. My tribe, Judah is my tribe. My tribe, yeah. Judah is my, Judah is my, Judah is my, Judah is my. I subscribe to that true tribe cause we came in them ships. My father's father was a slave, he served his masters with his hands and his fists. Reminiscing on those things and I can't even be pissed because slavery was a choice. We broke the laws and got whipped. They tryna kill us off anyway. It can go down any day. I hire our shield with semi-spray. They making war chemically. Without our God, we're feeble. These people, they know we're not equal. Whoever would rule, we was right there trying to take the kingdom. Then you ruled in Babylon. Esther was in power in the time of the Persian and Medes. The Maccabean brothers handled business, took back our temple in the time of the Greeks. Septimius Severus supported the fall of Rome. A black man who was not at home. Nat Turner, Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, America's not a home. Let his hands be sufficient for him, please don't let him die. Wake his house up first, all his brethren they gon' buy. Land of his enemies, please let him survive. Judah is my, Judah is my, Judah is my, Judah is my tribe. My tribe, Judah is my tribe. My tribe, Judah is my tribe. My tribe, Judah is my, Judah is my, Judah is my, Judah is my, Judah is my tribe.